In John 17, verse 22, I'm going to walk around a little bit, that's all right. Then they'll be mature in this oneness and give the godless world evidence. Then they'll be mature in this and give the godless world evidence. Now, walk with me real quick. Mark 16 says, and they went everywhere, preaching the master with them, validating the message with indisputable evidence. Then Luke said in Acts chapter 1 that they began to speak and began to preach, but they only began to speak and to preach only after they spoke about the things pertaining to the kingdom of God. So, what John said and Jesus said is that there's some evidence when you have my Lord. Mark said that when you go everywhere preaching, that there will be some evidence. Luke says in Acts chapter 1 that there will be some evidence pertaining to the kingdom of God. What I'm saying is that we look at growth today because everything seems to be booming. And because all these churches are packed out the door, and there's some great people that are doing great works, but don't be deceived by every single mega that you see. Because the reality of it is, it's not growth, it's swelling. Because there's no evidence. Because if I see you on Sunday, and you tell me where you go, but every single day that week, I see no evidence, something is wrong. What I'm saying is that we have begun to develop a culture that is more focused on gifts over lifestyle. And because they are gifted to do something, we don't care about the life that they live once they walk outside the church door, as long as they look good doing what they do. And as a result, we're not able to reach young men anymore because our prisons are full. Because we don't know what to do and how to literally image and make a mirror and reflection of God in our culture. Because if we knew how to make a real image and reflection of God in our culture, then we would see the culture dramatically shift. Creating kingdom culture literally means that you have to go beyond your particular denominational barriers. Creating kingdom culture means that you have to literally go beyond your religious antics. Creating kingdom culture literally means that there must be an acceptance of the world as is. The world is rapidly changing. The world is rapidly shifting. They've already made a new phone, a new iPhone, and by the time 6 months come from now, they'll be talking about another one. The world is constantly changing. We just got G1s and now G2 will be out before the end of the summer. The world is constantly changing. They're already working on the next Xbox model. They're already working on the next Wii. They're already working on the next PlayStation, the next PSP. The world is constantly shifting. But when you look at the church culture, you will notice that after everybody else changes, after Sony changes every 2 years, the church takes 10 years to make a dramatic shift. Because there is no evidence. Jesus then goes on to say that my prayer is not for those who already have it, but my prayer is for those who don't have it. You do a good job showing up to service, but you have to be able to show out outside. And then finally Luke comes and reminds us in the book of Acts, and I'm almost through. Comes and reminds us in the book of Acts, and he says in the book of Acts, he begins to tell us that on the day of Pentecost, read chapter 1 for those who look at it, then he begins to go on and talk about that they begin to speak the things of the kingdom of God. And then around chapter 2, you will notice that he talks about they will be my witnesses. says that they shall be witnesses unto me in Jerusalem, in Judea, in Samaria, and the uttermost parts of the earth. If you read any serious magazine, they will tell you that 2010 is the year of globalization, which means that global is the new local, because we have created a new culture that is able to communicate simultaneously just as fast as we're doing in this room with people around the world. John and I, we witness the meal, and we actually, our ministry is ministry that reaches out to folks in 7 nations. And we send out more emails and more conversations to folks all over the world in a day than the majority of us actually are able to see in a lifetime. What am I saying? What I'm saying is that we are literally becoming that people that John saw in the book of Revelation that was without any number, any culture, any creed. What I'm telling you is that there is a mandate from the foundations of the world. Paul put it like this. He said in Romans that the earth is growing and moaning, waiting for a manifestation of the sons of God. What he's saying, what I'm saying is that many are called, but few are chosen. Why? Because the only ones that are chosen are the ones that answer to the call. And everybody in our culture now, God called me, God has called all of us. But you're only chosen when you get up and do what he called you to do. What I'm saying in my closing, my first closing, I do about 2 or 3 closings, my first closing. But you're going to see that Luke comes and reminds us. Luke says that when this change comes, you will be my witness in Jerusalem. Why? Because the first thing that happens, you'll find that the gospel comes in Jerusalem. And then around chapter 7 of the book of Acts, they had their own personal hurricane Katrina, in which everybody got scattered up. And so now they have to appoint 7 deacons, 7 just men, to go out and actually begin to witness and minister and wait tables because the job was becoming too hefty. And so now they find themselves in Judea. And then you'll find that a shifting comes again, and then around Acts 15, in the Jerusalem Council, they're arguing and fighting over the validity of John Mark, and then they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. So the church